So we're gonna start building beds today. I figured I'd show you how we do it. So first things first, make your plot ready to be gardened. So in this case, we took everything out. We tilled to get all the roots out, so we're down to the dirt. You can use tarps for that, but we just ran out of time for that. So in this case, we just used the back time tiller, tilled everything up, got all the sod out, and then you're ready to go. So everything is, see sticks kind of mapped out. And so now we'll just kind of go step by step into how we do this. Step one was getting your plot ready. Step two is getting a crap ton of dirt for the plot. So this is 50-50 topsoil and leaf compost. I traditionally have only really been using leaf compost, but as I've been realizing, it's really not a firm base for it to support the stems. So I found that somebody does a garden mix, 50-50 of each. So once you figure out how big your plot is, then you just put in the calculator how much dirt you need, and then you're ready to start building up your beds. And step three is getting your bed size set. So we just use some metal poles with some string. So we do 38-inch wide, 36 for the square foot gardening, and then one extra on each just to make it nice and simple. So this way you know how straight your beds are from the whole length of it. Makes it so much easier when you're dumping the dirt, how to place it in alignment with what you wanted to do with the beds. So that's step three. Step four is putting down a weed barrier, and you can use whatever you want as long as it's biodegradable. So we're just going to use leaf bags, but if you have extra cardboard, that will suffice. Just make sure it's not the real waxy kind. So even though you've dug up your plot and it doesn't look like there's weeds in there, there's always going to be weeds coming because of the seeds that are still present in the soil. And the last thing you want is to have good soil and the nutrients going down into this layer, because it will only just further support that. So having a nice layer for the first year really knocks that down, keeps the weeds at bay, and then as the plants become more situated, more concentrated into the soil, everything will degrade, and then the new roots will take into this layer and further pretty much reduce the chances of weeds coming through. It's not fully effective, but it will be better than not having it. Things to note if you're using paper bags or cardboard is to wet it down. You have to remember you're going to be putting dirt on top of this, so anything that's light and airy will move with the putting the wheelbarrow of dirt on top of it. So you wet it down, and then you also overlap like that, so you have it on top of each other, so when it does go down, it doesn't catch the lip if it was on top pushing your bag with the dirt. So wet it down, have the overlap higher on where the wheelbarrow is going to go, and then you just keep building back one by one for that. So as you're putting down the dirt in your next step, go one by one with the bags. The bags will dry out because it's just a thin layer, plus it's really warm today. But I think most importantly is you want to be bringing your wheelbarrow in and dumping in the same line that your bed is going to be. If you were to dump left to right, you're going to have overflow here. If I have overflow here, it's just going to go right back into the bed. So I put two sheets out, one being used. I'll put the next one on top, wet it down, put the next wheelbarrow onto there, and just keep going. And after a number of wheelbarrows full, you have your whole first bed. Right nice to the line, a little flow over, but that's fine. And you're ready to plant. And now after an hour and a half-ish, you have about 30-foot bed with 34 tomato plants in it. It takes a while, certainly not straightforward. This is just one of 7 beds that are going to go into here, so you're looking at a good weekend's worth of activity trying to get your beds up and going. But once you're going, subsequent years are going to be much easier, especially once you get working on this soil into that soil, and but that'll be a few years down the line. So that's how we make our beds.